Speaking of the Oregon defense, I want to start with some of the names that we already know. Mateo Uyunglele, the good brother is coming back. He led the entire college football, or was it just led the Big Ten in sacks last year. He's coming back. Bryce Betcher coming back to plug the middle. Any other names returning that should be more on my radar?
Yeah, I mean, Tatum Tuioti coming back is huge as well. You are bookend on both sides with Uyunglele and Tuioti, with guys who are experienced and really dang good on the edge. Also, having Blake Purchase, who's coming, he played as a true freshman and then had a redshirt year last year. His body looked completely different. Elijah Rushing, who is a highly touted prospect out of high school, he is now a redshirt freshman coming into the system. I think those guys coming back are massive for the defense. Devin Jackson, who you saw play one-on-one man-to-man coverage against Ashton Genty on the outside and go stride for stride with Genty. You have speed in the linebacking core. Devin Jackson should have a big year when he is completely healthy.
And what's the injury that he has right now?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Dealing with something.
That works.
I don't know. I think that's what Russ, did you have that in your update yesterday, or was it Buck that had something in the update yesterday about Jackson?
Yeah, it was Buck.
I don't know.
I didn't know if we knew any.
I
don't know if we
idea.
knew any more about that, but that's part of the Oregon trend is keep kind of tight-lipped.
But Amari Washington as a freshman last year gave some serviceable snaps, and look, if there's two places where you sit there and you go, all right, how much can Oregon not just, you can't fall off, but you have to stay the same or take the next step. The interior defensive line, when you lose Derek Harmon and Jamari Caldwell, who were transfer portal guys who came in, and you want to talk about an impact in the middle of the defensive line, those guys were massive, like figuratively and literally.
Yeah.
And both high draft picks, Harmon a first-round pick, Caldwell at a third-round pick in the NFL draft. You've got to find a way to be solid in the middle. And I thought coming out of spring, you saw in the spring game, you're like, well, all right, you got to take those strides. How much of that 1,300 pounds of weight gain is in that interior of the defensive line?
Well, what's the depth chart look like? Guys that were there last year that got some snaps. Who are there guys we expect to step up?
Yeah, well, I think you're going to see a bigger load from Amari Washington, Tione Gray, Bear Alexander, the transfer from USC, comes in.
That throws me off, okay? Because I'm very excited about a guy named Bear playing defensive line, but when I hear defensive transfer from USC, that does not instill a lot of confidence in me.
Well,
did he leave because he didn't want to play in that defense?
Well, he's also a transfer from Georgia.
Okay,
so he went Georgia to USC.
All right, okay,
to Oregon. He's got all the talent in the world, and it's an engagement thing, like staying engaged throughout the course of a year, I guess, because he went to a bunch of high schools too. And I don't know Bear Alexander. All I know is the story of Bear Alexander, which is a 5-star recruit that is kind of bounced around, whether that was high school or college. Well, you better buy in or you're not going to be around Eugene very long. And that's one of the things that Dan Lanning has made very clear. And every guy that's come in as a transfer with question marks, they haven't let him down. So, I mean, you kind of trust the culture and trust the process of how they operate. But also, I look at it and you say how well they are coached with Tuioti being the defensive line coach in the middle, and having Tosh Lapoy, who is a guy who's developed so much talent on the defensive line. It helps the interior when the exterior are Uyunglele and Tatum Tuioti. So that helps tremendously to have those two guys to occupy multiple sets of eyes, and kind of cleans things up for them. But they've got to be big. And then the other one is the secondary. You lose everybody from that secondary from a year ago. And they went deep into the transfer portal and they recruited hard. I mean, DeCorian Moore was the jewel of the recruiting class. They had the 24/7 has the number 5 recruiting class in 2025. If you look after DeCorian Moore, who is the number 1 jewel of the class, the next 4 in that recruiting class were all defensive backs.
Okay.
The next 4 highest rated prospects were defensive back prospects. So Naeem Offord, whose brother Mekhi Hughes is the running back on the other side of the ball. You have Trey McNutt, who they stole out of the state of Ohio.
What a great name.
Right?
Yeah, let's go.
And not a Buckeye.
Yeah.
McNutt
not being a Buckeye.
Beaver is going to be a Duck.
Yeah.
And also Jet Washington, Kobe's nephew, also going to be a Duck. So you have Washington, a Beaver, and a McNutt not being a Buckeye.
It's all good.
It's all good. But
well, and a Bear, not a cow, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
Let's do it. Well, we're doing this thing.
Lack of Bears in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
I mean, you have 18 schools and no Bear mascots.
Fair point. And you had, 2 in the Pac-10?
That's right.
Pac-12.
The Bruins and Cal.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's a way to say, though, the secondary is being overhauled. They had 21 guys in the defensive backfield on the roster during spring ball. They recruited hard. They went to the transfer portal, and they get guys like Dylan Thieneman out of Purdue.
Yeah, talk to me about that guy.
Game changer.
Yeah,
I mean,
because he led the Big Ten in tackles, and
that says a lot about Purdue.
Well, I guess that's fair too. They're playing a lot of defense. But what's his build? Is he a ball hawk, or is he just a Cam Chancellor go up and rip guys' heads off?
No, I
did not watch a lot of Purdue football. Forgive me.
Well, and look, he was a lot of triage is what you call that, right? Where he was having to play down into the box and back deep, and he was having to fix a lot of the wounds that Purdue's defense was having. He's a guy who not a lot of guys popped when you watch. He pops when you watched Purdue.
And how much of a difference does that make? I mean, you've watched and kind of evaluated talent, even just at the high school level, trying to figure out where to put guys. How much of a difference does it make when you take a guy like that who is the standout player for all 11 guys on the field? That's a guy that pops, and you put him in the middle of a defense that has guys popping all over the place.
Yeah.
How much can he still stand out, or just having a full unit around him that can build him up?
I mean, and that's the thing is you just want to accent his strengths.
Yeah.
Right? When you have a balanced guy who can do a lot of things and bring a different dynamic to the defense, you just say you let him play free, right? Do your job, but you can kind of play a little bit more free. I'm excited to see how they use him and how he fits, because look, that's the thing with great defensive coaches is that it's a lot of the unexpected, because that's where you counter the offense in how they try to attack your approach.